I'd like to call to order the January 4th, 2011 meeting of the Louisville Planning and Zoning Commission. Announce that we do have a quorum present. Item 2 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the December 21st, 2010 meeting. Do we have any comments, corrections, issues with the meeting minutes from last meeting from any of the commissioners? If not, do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Motion from Karen, second from Bill to approve the meeting minutes of the December 21st, 2010 meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Meeting minutes are approved. Item 3 is the public hearing consent agenda plats. Item 3A is the final plat of Chase Oaks Addition Phase 1, a 13.74-acre tract of land zone Townhouse 2 with 67 residential lots and 2 HOA lots, being a replat of the Villas of Wellington Addition Phase 1, located on the northeast corner of Valley Parkway and Bel Air Boulevard.
Good evening, Commissioners. The first plat on your agenda is a replat of the Villas of Wellington. Portrait Homes was the original builder for this subdivision, and they had planned a townhouse attached product. They went defunct. We now have First Texas Homes coming in who have bought the property and are looking to replat the property into single-family detached product. The 17 townhouses that are currently there will remain, will be part of, the overall subdivision. But they are looking to essentially build a detached product that will reduce the number of units on the in the subdivision, and staff is in favor of this.
Thank you, Mary. Do we have any questions for staff or any discussion?
I'm just
Jim? Oh.
I'm just curious on how the HOA works.
They will have 2 HOAs, is my understanding, one for the townhouse, one for the single-family detached product, that will ultimately be combined under an umbrella for both, but 2 separate HOAs.
Lots.
And how does this differ from the previous plat? I was not privy to that at the time.
Oh, the original plat essentially had all the units were attached, so I think they had, let's see, 130 on the first one? No, that's the old one. Yeah. I think the original one had like 90-something lots on it. So with this replat, essentially they had to widen the lots, because when you go to a detached product, the lot size is larger, has to be a 5,000 square foot. So that would initiate a decrease in the number of lots, since they're expanding the lot size, essentially doubling what the lot currently is. So they're going from 90-something lots to 67, I believe.
Great. Thank you.
Jim, did you have something?
Oh, no. Mary, I'm sorry. Who is it who's taking this over from Portrait?
Well, Portrait went defunct,
Right.
but went back to the bank, I believe. And now it's First Texas Homes.
First Texas Homes. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
I believe their contact information should be on the plat.
Yes, it is.
Yes, thank
So
you.
essentially, this was Phase 1 of Villas at Wellington. So all the streets are in, the infrastructure's in. Essentially, what they're going to have to do is go back in, finish out some punch list items, relocate some services because of the lot configuration changes, and then they should be back on track to getting Phase 1 done. The second item on your agenda was Phase 2, which essentially what they're going to do, since they haven't built anything, is vacate that plat, come back in with a Phase 2 of Chase Oaks that would meet the zoning requirements.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Any other discussion on 3A? Go ahead, TJ.
I'll move.
Okay.
If you're looking for a move.
No, I'm not, but thank you. Just want to make sure we were done.
Mary, I got one question. Are we taking this as one single item? both items, or are we taking them separately?
You could do either or.
Okay. Question I have is, the original plot is going to be 3B, the original arrangement, is that correct?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The original arrangement that originally portrait someone was going to do was B, and A is where it's getting the bigger lots, is that correct?
No. Item 3A is the one that has some existing units on it.
Okay.
And so that's,
smaller attached units are going to be closer to the front, is that correct?
the attached units are, if you're looking on the actual plat drawing that you have, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 along Bel Air, and then adjacent to the amenity center on either side, there's another 4 on each side, and then up on Somerset Road, lots 1 to 5.
So they're
Townhomes.
they're intermingling attached and detached is what I'm trying to figure out is what is it going to look like from the street?
Looks like they finished pretty much both sides of the main house there, a little bit on the front, and they started around that right-hand side before they stopped, is basically what they did.
Right.
Main entrance.
Right.
But-
And you've got, you've got the thoroughfare wall that goes along Bel Air and Valley Parkway. There's only 17 units, so it's not going to, it's going to be, maybe look a little bit different than what you're used to, but it's not.
Maybe I'm not asking the correct question. The detached product that they're wanting to put in, is that A or B on our agenda?
A and B.
The attached products have an asterisk on them.
Phase 1 was started, and they're going to...
Yeah, I see where the attached is on A. I'm still trying to find it where there's detached units on B.
On B, no, okay. On B, all we're doing is vacating the plat, which means
Right.
Eliminate.
essentially erasing that plat.
So they can
So they haven't turned in a new plat for Phase 2, which would be the detached units. What you're looking at is essentially, we're going to take this plat and just pretend it never happened.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Sorry. I'm a little slow today.
Sorry.
Holidays.
Tax season.
No, it's not even tax season yet, so I can't blame that. Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Okay, then at this time, I'll open the public hearing on item 3A. Anyone wishing to speak in reference to item 3A can do so at this time. If we have anyone, appears we do not. Do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion from Jim,
Second.
second from Alvin. To close the public hearing on item 3A, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, public hearing is closed. Any final discussion before we make a motion to either approve or deny this zoning request? If not, do we have a motion?
Making a motion to recommend approval for 3A.
Motion from Karen to recommend approval for 3A. Second? Second from TJ. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Item 3A passes. Item 3B is a vacation plat of the Villas at Wellington Addition Phase 2, Zone Townhouse 2, with 130 residential lots and 1 HOA lot on 14.72 acres located at the northeast corner of Valley Parkway and Bel Air Boulevard.
Okay, so as I just mentioned previously, this plat is a vacation plat. Essentially what it means is it's coming off the books, like it never existed. So this allows them a fresh slate. They'll come back in. None of the roads, infrastructure, nothing was built. So they're going to come back in at a later date with Chase Oaks Phase 2, which will incorporate the correct lot sizes and requirements for this detached product that they're doing.
Thank you, Mary. Any questions on 3B?
So, Mary, they're looking for Phase 2 to do this instead of being a Townhouse 2, they're looking to do more of a single-family?
Right. The zoning stays the same because a townhouse or townhouse 2 allows you to do either an attached product or detached product. I know if you drive around the city, you'll be looking at houses that you're thinking, okay, that's a detached house, but really it's in townhouse zoning. So the zoning, the main difference is that the lot sizes have to be larger to do the detached product, which they know and they've, obviously done in Phase 1 and are going to continue in Phase 2.
Great.
Thank you, TJ. Anything else? Okay, at this time, I'll open the public hearing on item 3B. Anyone wishing to speak on the public record on item 3B can do so at this time. Again, it appears we have no one. Do we have a motion to close the public hearing on 3B?
Motion to close public hearing.
I have a motion from Bill,
Second?
second from Jim, to close the public hearing on item 3B. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Public hearing is closed. Any final discussion on 3B or a motion?
Move.
We have a motion from TJ to recommend approval of item 3B. Second, do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Alvin. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries on item 3B. Item 4 is public hearing zoning. Item 4A is consideration of a zone change request from agricultural open space to local commercial on 2 acres located at 360 East FM 3040, further identified as Lou Burgess Survey, Abstract 52, Tract 20. The request is being made by PMJ Holdings, LLC, the property owner. Cases number PZ 20110101.
There's a little correction that we do have to make. It says 360, it's really 260, but the rest of the information is correct, that this is the property here. If you've driven by, it's kind of tucked away behind the church here and the shopping center over here at the corner of Euchre and Round Grove. Mr. Prakash also owns this property right here, which is already zoned local commercial. What he's looking to do is also zone this property local commercial. His intention, as he explained to us, is to build essentially an office complex, little office suites. Local commercial is one of our more restrictive categories. The only one more restrictive would be office district itself. This allows him a little bit of flexibility. We do have local commercial, like I said, already on Euchre, fronting Euchre, and fronting 34 in Euchre. The church and the daycare behind it are zoned general business. The property just north of this property is all zoned agricultural open space. It is an area of transition. I believe that in the future, I think there's people just looking to see what's going to happen. Mr. Prakash with PMJ Holdings is looking to, I guess, do this little office condo, hopefully initiating some change in that area. So it is a relatively strict zoning in terms of it doesn't allow for any type of outside storage or display, overnight display of things. So it is more limiting than the general business right beside it. So you can have like a car dealership or sell cars or store stuff outside. Staff is recommending approval of this zone change request.
Thank you, Mary. Any questions or discussion for Mary from any of the commissioners? Okay. If not, at this time, then I'll open the public hearing on item 3A. Anyone wishing to speak with reference to item 3A can do so. And please come up to the mic and tell us your name and where you live. And then is there a sign-in sheet, Mary? And there's a sign-in sheet there for you to sign in.
Good evening. My name's Mary Brown, and it's my dad's property. It's right next to it. I live here in Louisville. And the problem is the water all runs down in through his property. And plus, it used to be a pond there, and the guy filled it in with concrete, wrought iron, tires and stuff, and I don't think it'll hold whatever y'all planning trying to build on it. And plus, half the driveway on there is owned by us. or by my dad.
Are you the, can you show us where on that projector, like which one is your dad's?
He's the one with the arrow on. He's right behind there, and next door is the McBride. And the street the drive, is owned half and half by the neighbors next door.
Okay.
But they concrete the whole road. We didn't, so. I'm just curious, how is it going to hold up and where you're going to put the water and how much traffic will be on the road.
Okay. Mary, can you speak to what types of things are done when they plat this, if they put this business in, with regard to any type of drainage or anything?
Right. Ms. Brown is correct in terms of the property. You can see it panhandles out, and that driveway access is half owned by a different lot in this one. Essentially what would happen, what we're talking about tonight is the zoning of the property, which would say, okay, you can do these types of uses on the property. In order for anything to be built on the property, they would have to go through two different processes in addition to this. This is the first step. So the next step would be to plat the property, which essentially is taking this raw land, showing where the property corners are, showing if there's any right-of-way dedication, showing where any type of easements are. And then the next step would be to do an engineering site plan on the property. And it's at that point where issues like drainage, paving, where the utilities are going, if there's any type of detention required, that's where those issues are addressed. So until we go through, when we get to that process, the idea is that it would not make your property worse off. That's not the intent. If anything, it should help ameliorate that area and improve the drainage of that area. But that's something that our engineers look at through the engineering site plan process.
Yeah, but see, he shoved it all, he built it up higher than it was.
Right.
Because the ground, he used to slope down. He built all this dirt up, put a wall right before it.
Could you step up to the microphone so we can hear you too?
No,
Thank you.
Okay. When the guy filled in the pond and everything with wrought iron and stuff, and the ground, but it used to slope down. It used to be a pond with the dam, then it sloped down. Went down about maybe 20 feet, because I used to play in there. And it sloped down, all the water would catch from in the pond, and if it filled up, it would overflow, but it would just go down gently, and it rushes through every time it rains. Since they redid Round Grove Road and everything, the water runs down the concrete, down my dad's drive, and everything. And there's dirt. The guy shoved dirt in there, brought in dirt and built a wall. It's probably about 15 feet tall, and it's right close to the fence, maybe a couple feet away.
Right, okay. Well, at this point, I think what we have to figure out is if someone's going to use this property, I think what Mary's saying also is in a lot of cases it ends up actually being better for you once it's developed, because when it's developed there's very strict guidelines as to like the way things slope, where the concrete is, where it drains, and so technically, hopefully, you'll be better off. Anytime we come in with a piece like this where someone's thrown in dirt and built up a big wall, it's most likely going to be better if we let someone develop it. And at this point, as Mary pointed out also, we have to determine, is this a good use of this land? And obviously, since everything around it is general business and local commercial, it's probably going to be a good idea to get this zoning in step with that. If I were you, I would recommend that when they get further along in this process, that you work with them then during that site engineering to make sure that everyone's happy that things are going to drain and not flood your father's property.
Yeah, but were you going to do, send a letter to my dad or to me?
I don't know, Mary. I don't know if there's any notification process when they do that. when they start that process, so.
Right. There's no notification process in terms of, there's a site plan going on right now. We do have development activity report that is online that shows everything that's in plan review. What I would say is I can give you the information for our engineer who'll be reviewing the plans, and you can talk to him and express your concerns and make sure that they're addressed if he goes forward with this plan.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other discussion on 3B? Sorry, 4A, I'm behind.
Mary, I'd presume, looking at the panhandle there on this, that they'd have to negotiate something for that right of way.
Oh, the panhandle?
Yeah, looking at this site and then looking at the satellite view, it's
Right. Well,
ingress and egress for those two properties.
That's probably a prescriptive use.
Is that, okay.
in addition, he does have access off of Euchre, because he does own that property.
Okay.
So you can't like landlock someone
Right.
out of a property anyway.
Well, and that's what I'm, for their property, because it looks like the primary ingress for them is this particular corridor as well.
Right.
So there would have to be some understanding if they needed
Right.
to use that. Okay. That's all.
Thank you. Anything else for the public hearing? And if not, do we have a motion to close the public hearing, please?
Make a motion to close public hearing.
Second?
Okay. Motion from Karen, second from Jim. Close the public hearing on item 4A. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Public hearing is closed. Any other discussion on this zoning? Or do we have a motion to recommend approval or denial?
I recommend approval.
Have a motion from Bill to recommend approval, second from Karen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries on item 4A. Item 5 is reports. Mary?
Two items. There will not be a planning and zoning meeting on the 18th, so that has been canceled. The other item of mention is that there will be a capital improvement advisory committee following this meeting.
Thank you, Mary. Item 6 is adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion from Karen to adjourn.
Second.
Second from Alvin. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.